This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do a stamp and charm reading. I may pull some cards. I'm not sure yet. I just want to see what kind of comes up today. I do want to check my audio really quick. We have good audio. Okay. And I just put this stamp here just to give the camera something to focus on. I really like this stamp. This is like one of my favorite stamps. So, we're going to use that today. But before I jump in, I do want to remind everybody that I am still offering private readings. If you want to book a private reading, you can book it through my website, oracledaphne.com. You can also DM me through Instagram, and I will send you a link to, Venmo or Cash App or however you want to pay. But I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. You can also DM me, and I will send you an invoice through PayPal. Or you can email me. My email is going to be below in the description box below. It is also, all the information is below in every video I've posted. So, and I have been trying to post that also in the comments as well. So, so I'm still offering private readings. I am trying to book. I book very quickly. Unlike other psychics, I don't book like a year out. I book very quickly within 1 or 2 days. I do that because I typically don't, I haven't had like a set schedule for a really long time, and anything could come up. I could get an interview. I could start working another job. I could pick up a gig. Also, all kinds of stuff kind of comes up for me. So essentially, I book as fast as possible. I can book same day if I get a payment first thing in the morning and I know like what time zone somebody's in. I can book same day appointments. Not always though. So I let everybody know that that's what's going on. I do appreciate all donations. If you'd like to send a gift, you can send that through Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. All of your support is appreciated. These videos are getting very little views. So I will remind everybody to give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you're new, and please share or make a comment. All of that really helps my channel. I don't have monetization on my channel, which makes like my videos like really low priority. So if you could just give me a thumbs up and leave a message in the comments and say, hey Beth, how are you doing? Looking good, whatever. I appreciate it. It helps my channel so much. So that's what's happening. I'm just gonna kind of pull another couple of stamps, I think. Well, first I want to see, there's some things that want to come through on this stamp itself. So we're going to do that stamp first. So I'm noticing this snail. You can see there's a snail to the left, like right there. And normally I don't notice a snail, but I'm noticing the snail. I'm also noticing like there's this crack in this pot. And there's also one pot overturned here. And the plant, there's two plants that were coming through. One was the yarrow, but actually it looks like this plant looks to me like more like a butterfly bush. So essentially what I think is kind of going on, there's a couple of things that could be going on with you guys. And the theme of this reading, just so everybody knows, is it's kind of what comes next after this Mercury retrograde, or just kind of what's coming up ahead. And I'm here to talk about some of the energy. So the snail, to me, it's like something's moving very slowly in your life. But you can see the snail is moving its way upwards on this pot. And because it's moving its way upwards, I'll just draw a little arrow here, upwards. I have to say that there's something that maybe is slowing its way towards you. You to me are the bird. So something was making its way very slowly towards you. And I don't know what that is going to be for everybody. For some, it could indicate some financial abundance. For others, because, there's certain things that move very slowly, right, in life. We know. Anything to do with the government, anything to do with taxes, anything to do with legal systems, all move slowly. Money can move slowly and people can move slowly. So there could be a person that you haven't met yet that is on meeting you. And it's kind of, they're moving very slowly. Now they could be an earth sign or they could just be the kind of person that moves slowly. My guides were also confirming that there's someone that you're going to meet that you haven't met yet. To me, that it feels very like long-term relationship potential and love related. Doesn't have to be. Could also be someone that you haven't yet met that's going to help you in your career. Things can happen that move slowly in career as well sometimes it's things can take a long time. I've talked to many people, I've gone through it myself, where you can go through long periods of time where you're not working or you haven't found a job or the right fit. So essentially things can move slowly there. So it could be like a future employer that you haven't met yet. Or it could be just someone that's going to be of significance in your life. Because of the butterfly, I'm just going to write down butterfly bush. Well, it's more like butterfly weed is, to me, that's what this plant is. And butterfly weed specifically is necessary for the butterflies to populate. So for some of you, whatever, the things that are moving slowly could have to do with getting your basic needs met or having your needs met in general. It could have to do with some kind of sustainable living or sustainable lifestyle or sustainability. That's what the words are coming through, sustainability. That's what I'm seeing for this butterfly weed, this butterfly bush. Butterfly bush is actually different. And butterfly bush is one of my favorite plants, but this looks like butterfly weed. So I'm talking about butterfly weed. So some of you, it's maybe you're functioning in a way where you are very focused on having your needs met or very focused on making sure, you're taking care of yourself or you're taking care of your basic needs. For some of you, there's a lot of frustration maybe about basic needs. I don't know, having enough food or having enough clothing or having enough gas in the tank. These are kind of basic needs. I want to talk about this pot here. And it's there's this crack here in this pot. And to me that's almost kind of some kind of damage, either damage to your home or damage to your relationships or damage to just your overall foundation. To me, this is damage. Some kind of damage control is necessary. So some of you might be going through, a breakup of some kind. Could be a divorce, could be a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, could be some kind of damage situation where things have gotten messy, where people have gotten really hurt. And maybe for some, there's some broken feelings, brokenness, broken relationships where the people in your life that were in your life are no longer. I have to say personally, I'll just say personally for myself and my experience, there's different situations and different things that can bring about this kind of damage. Death in the family is one of them. situations where, people in the family don't get along, don't agree, crisis points, things that cause serious crisis points. And it's almost like, I don't know how to explain this. It's almost like a necessary to kind of manage the damage, if that makes sense. Like, manage the crisis, manage the it's damage control, essentially, for some of you. Like, that's the energy that I'm seeing for some of you, where maybe you're trying to like figure out, okay, how to make your living situation work, or how to put food on your table, or how to a relationship work. Maybe this is a marriage situation. Maybe this is a partnership of some kind. This could be a girlfriend or boyfriend who maybe have broken up many times. And it's just like, over time, it's like this crack kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Almost like any kind of, let's just say, glass piece, a piece of glass that's slowly kind of making its way to being unmanageable. So you could have a situation where you've gotten to a point that's slowly eroded over time, whether it's a relationship that's gone, that's eroded over time, the relationship, or whatever situation you're in. It's slowly kind of gotten to a point over time where it's no longer functioning right, where, like, essentially what's going to happen is that this is going to, the pot is going to break, essentially, because it's just not, it's no longer going to be what it once was. And the thing is like, to me, it's almost like a natural ending to a long-term relationship is what I'm seeing for some of you. It's like a natural ending, and you might not see it that way. You might see it as being very painful. Breakups are very painful. Things with relationships can be very, very painful, very hard. So I have to say that for some of you, like, that's the energy that's at play here. And I feel like this could be a family situation where there's more than one person, too, that's getting affected by this breakup. So this could be children, even extended family that's kind of getting affected by this. To me, there's also a chaotic element, a chaotic feel to this. When I say chaotic feel, what does that mean? It just feels kind of like there's a lot of different things kind of going on. We have this snail that's moving slowly. We have this bird with the worm in its mouth. We have this pot that's kind of like about to crack and the bird's going to fall off. We have like a lot of different plants kind of growing here, and we have this pot that's overturned. So to me, there's different directions here. We have this upward movement. We have this, I want to say it's kind of more of like a sideways movement. And then we have this kind of weird, this plant's kind of going this way. This plant's kind of going this way as well as this way. And we have this pot, which to me is anything that's inside this pot is going to spill. So we also have this downward, kind of downward energy. So to me, if I look at the energy, I would say that, you might at this time feel a little scattered. You might feel like there's a lot of things going on, and like a lot of them are out of your control. Like with this pot that's already overturned, like, you might have nothing to do with that. That just might have been like some kind of collateral damage, or, you know what I'm saying? Like that might have been something that happened, at work, or something that happened in your life that's, just out of your control. Whatever the case may be, and I'm just going to say this, that this bird cannot sit on this pot much longer. Some of you have been on the fence about something, too. Like maybe you've been waiting on something, because the snail to me is like moving very slowly. So maybe you've been waiting on something to happen and it just hasn't happened. And maybe it hasn't happened yet. But to me, it's like a timing element here where you cannot continue to sit on that or be in that one spot or in that one space. Now, some of you, you're going to have to move out of wherever it is that you live. And others, it's more metaphorical, where you need things to happen in order for there to be change. You need like this snail to reach you, and whatever that this snail is carrying, whether it's a message or whether it's good energy or whether it's money or whatever it is that this snail is carrying, it needs to reach you before this pot completely breaks. Now, I have to tell you, and this is very important that I say this, that there are people that look at this picture and they look at this bird and they say, well, this situation is effed. Okay? They think, well, there is no other way. Like, this pot is going to break. This snail has not reached me, whatever situation is going on. And there's no other way for me to do anything. But see, it is really a matter of perspective. And at this time, we have a lot of Virgo energy. Just had this new moon in Virgo. A lot of Virgo energy, a lot of head energy, and sometimes Virgo can go really up in their head, and their head can start to spin. And it's very, very important for everybody to start to really look at things creatively, but in a very grounded way, and also like not let their head pop off of overthinking or worst case scenarios, because Virgo can really go into worst case scenarios and think, okay, what are my options? And it seems to be that if I was to look at this, and I'm just going to show you the stamp again because it's easier to see with the stamp. If the bird just hops from that pot to this pot, it's not ideal, but if the bird just does that, then the bird at least is standing on something and will buy themselves a little bit of time to figure out what their next step's going to be. So some of you need to figure out your steps, your action steps, your plan. Because to me, the energy of Virgo being so strong, there needs to be forward planning. Those of you who don't make lists, this is the time to make a list. Those of you who don't really focus on structure, this is a time to really pull it together and focus on okay, what are the structures in your life? What is the job that you're doing? Is the job that you're doing bringing in any money? Is the job, bringing you any kind of forward movement? Is the relationship working that you're in? Because there is something in your life that's coming to an end. It feels like you're at a point in time where you can't really continue to be where you're at for too much longer. That's what it appears to be. But I do have to say, and this is very important, that even though there's some great change upon everybody at this time, I feel like there are options. And that's my point here with this bird and this pot you might think that this is a fuck situation, but it's not. There's going to be something that else step on. There's going to be another step that you can take or something else that you can do. It's not where there's no out or there's no situation that's going to resolve itself. And I do feel, regardless of whether you see it coming or not, there is snail bringing something to you. So, I feel like you most likely can't even see it. Most likely you cannot see it because, again, I'm looking at this stamp here, which is easier to see. This bird is not looking at this snail. So there is something good that's coming. I feel like the snail is bringing something good. I do feel like it's moving very slowly. So that something good is taking a long time. And then because it's taking so long, you might not even think that it's going to happen. This also could be like, let's just say, like, you've, been through a lot of different relationships. And some of you are like, I'm never going to get into a relationship, or I'm never going to have a partner, or I'm never going to find a job, or I'm never going to, whatever it is that you fill in the blank. I'm never going to blah, 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 whatever that blank is. That's what's coming. And you don't see it. But it's just a timing issue. It's taking a lot longer. And you're focused, to me, like you're focused on other things. Some of you, I'm also seeing something interesting. It appears that this bird has a worm in its mouth. But to me, it actually looks like it could be a piece of string. Now, for those of you where the bird has a worm in its mouth, the worm to me represents transformation. The worm represents how you're not going to see yourself the way that you see yourself right now, later in time. Number one. And number two, you're most likely you're going to become a whole different person. You're going to have a whole new job, a whole new life set of responsibilities, and just in like a whole new cycle. For those of you, what the bird is holding is a piece of string or something to build its nest or to fix something. I feel like those of you, if there's something that's broken, I feel like you're going to fix it. And if there's something that's going on, let's just say, it could be like a maintenance issue. I feel like you're going to get the maintenance issue fixed. The piece of string also could be where I'm getting like so many different things. Hang on just a second. It's coming through just a minute. The piece of string reminds me of cords of attachment. So some of you are breaking ties with somebody who you've had a strong relationship or a cord of attachment to. Number one. Number two, the string also represents like needing to let go of something that's already broken. Like there's something that maybe you're still attached to that you're holding on to. Like it has this piece of string in its beak. So it's like, what is it that you're holding on to? Some of you are still holding on to maybe a little bit of hope for a situation that to me is broken. Or you're holding out for a little bit of hope that are, to something that maybe was actually just a scrap. Maybe you received some kind of scrap from somebody. Like maybe it was just like a piece of a relationship or a fraction. I've talked about fractions before. I'm not a big fan of fractions. Fraction type relationships are where, third party situations where you get into a situation where somebody has somebody else. Or somebody's only putting in a little bit of work or no work at all. Okay. And the reason and that's a fraction. It's a fraction of what it would be if it was a full relationship, full-time relationship where somebody was actually invested in you and like reciprocating and, you were together and it wasn't just like I'll sleep with you when I see you or I'll talk to you, but I won't ever sleep with you. But like maybe once a year, we'll have a hookup or like, it's gonna be all that other stuff is fractions. You get a fraction when you're in a third party situation. So some of you, it is third party situation related, but I feel like for some of you, you're most likely just holding on to some kind of hope of a situation. It just maybe didn't work out. And there are things, and I will tell you that people can have relationships that have problems, okay, that have serious problems. And I'm seeing like it is for your highest good. And this bird is sitting on this pot. It's for your highest good to get out of a situation which isn't working. It's for your highest good to end something and to let go of whatever hope that you may have had for it, because that's what's going to actually help you fly. You're going to have wings when, I always tell people like when you get out of a relationship, the best thing that you can do is get pissed off. is to get really angry. Is to be like, okay, this motherfucker is no longer good for me, and I'm gonna say no, and I'm no longer gonna talk to them, and I'm no longer gonna text them, and I'm just gonna let them go. And that's the best thing that you can do. You gotta get pissed off to do it, because all of this love and all of this like softness and all of this care and all this kindness of, talking to the family or hanging on to the relationship because they're, that at work, or hanging on to the relationship because they're texting you a lot, or hanging on to the relationship because of XYZ, what could have been, it's not going to help you break up. It's not going to help you long term. The best thing to do is to get pissed off and be like, no, they cannot come back. They cannot talk to you again. They can no longer be part of your life. They don't deserve it. And if you start to get into that headspace of actually getting angry and pissed off, that's going to give you the wings that you need to leave. It's going to give you the wings that you need to fly away and to live a good life and to do the things that you want to do and to fly and to be happy and to reach something else and reach for something better. And God forbid we all try to reach for something better. There's a strong push in society to settle for crap. There is a strong push in society to settle for wages that are not good, to settle for jobs that are not good, to settle for people that are not good, to get into long-term relationships that are absolutely crap, that are either abusive or toxic or narcissistic, or they've got all kinds of crap issues. And this is not the time to settle for that. Okay, this is not the time to be like, I'm just going to settle for blah, blah, blah. No, this is not the time for that. Okay, this is the time to get pissed off and to say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this shit any longer. I'm going to get fucking pissed. I'm going to be done, and I don't want to ever talk to them again. And once you start to really set that boundary in your head, like once that's in your head, you're not going to go back. And you're not going to look back, and they're not going to call you again because you're not going to be manifesting them again. You're not going to be like waiting for them to text you, waiting for them to call you, waiting them to give you some kind of effing closure, in which they're not going to do it, because why should they effing do it? Because they know that they can absolutely hook up with you at any time that they want. The minute they pick up that phone, you'll be right there. The minute they text you, you'll be, ready to go. And it's just like, no, you have to get to a place of no. You have to get to a place of no, I'm not going to do this shit. No. That's where this bird is at. Okay. So I just want to, remind everybody that with the breakup process, that's what's necessary. And that is what is advised here in this reading. Now, everybody can go read or, have readings done with other people that are going to pad it up so that they feel like they're softly, headed into a very soft direction where everybody lives happily ever after. And that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is what I'm talking about. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say no. Time to say okay, the boundaries need to be set, and it's okay. It's okay to let go. It's okay if the bird lets go of this worm or whatever it is. Let's say the bird let goes of the string. The bird's going to find another string. The bird's going to find another worm. It's not like this is the only worm this bird is ever going to find or ever going to have. It's just, we get into our heads that maybe we found our perfect person, and if it doesn't work out, we got really disappointed, or if a job doesn't work out, we get really disappointed. And it's all very valid. Everything is very valid, but that's not what Spirit is saying here. Spirit is saying, okay, it's time to let go of whatever it is that you've got, whatever bird, whatever worm you've got, and whatever piece of string you've got. Now, I will say, those of you, I'm going to say there's two camps of people. There's the worm people, and then there's the string people. The worm people, the people that have a worm in there, and for this bird, that to me means that they're going through a transformation, and that those worm people are going to really appreciate this period of their life and what they've gone through. And you don't appreciate it until later. So again, it's time to write down what you're doing and where you're going, and start to really be appreciative of this time. Because in general, the people that are going through this transformation, they're probably not having a good time. You're probably not enjoying your life. You're probably not feeling as good as you'd like. You're probably not feeling like you even really have a direction. You're probably feeling where the F is anything going? But but you don't realize you're going through transformation. So that's part of it. The people that are holding the string in their mouth are people that are fearful of letting go. People that are fearful of never having a relationship, or never being loved, or never having something that's real, or never having a long-term partner, or never blah, blah, blah. Again, it's like this fear. You got to let go of the fear in order for you to get what you want. And you got to also let go of things that no longer serve you, and get to that point of setting those boundaries in your head, in your brain. And I can tell you, every person that I've ever been like, yeah, no, hell no, I'm not going to do that anymore, it ends. It's an ending, and it's final. And those are times, and that's what some of you people that are holding the string need to do. You need to get to a point of like, okay, I've had enough. Something is final. We're done here. That's what has to happen. All right, I'm going to put that over here. I am going to pull, let's see, a couple other stamps. I love this one, actually. Very interesting to reading today, guys. Very fascinating. Okay, so this stamp looks like it's another bird, but it's like a birdhouse that's made out of like a gourd. And this actually is a stamp that I associate with a bluebird specifically. Now it could be another bird, it kind of looks like a chickadee. But I associate this one with a bluebird because a long time ago, I wrote a letter to myself and I colored it in this stamp blue. And every time I opened that letter, it was a sign of something good that was going to happen. It was a sign of hope. So some of you, this stamp represents hope. It represents like getting to a point in time where things kind of get better, or things, and it's kind of like a miracle a little bit, because again, you don't really necessarily see how things are going to improve in time. So I'm just going to write down hope and bluebird. And yeah, that's the energy of this stamp. It's very, very positive. So for those of you, like people that are, watching, we're watching for this part of the reading, I feel like this energy is going to be like a breath of fresh air. Whatever this is for you. Those of you who don't have any hope, or haven't been hopeful, or have felt maybe, I don't know, down in your luck, or just not feeling like your best, I feel like this is going to be really like a shift, a positive shift. Maybe I just said that. I don't know. I can't really articulate it very well, actually. I feel like the bluebird energy is different it's going to be different for many people. And maybe that's why my brain is like, there's too many things. Some of you need to listen to the Miranda Lambert song, the Bluebird song, because you're going to like resonate with it. It's kind of like, and for some of you, it's being a light for other people. It's the bluebird for you represents being a light for other people. And being a light for other people is not easy. Sometimes, being a light means like things aren't necessarily the best energy match. You can meet people and like they don't like you because your energy is different. I've gone into many different situations in which people have treated me bad because my energy is so different. And then they may apologize to me later, like things might not work out for me because my energy is different. So even in school, I had a really hard time. I was bullied for a long time, very long time. And people didn't like me because my energy was different. So again, being a light worker is not all it's cracked up to be. And for some of you, you might have different, it's like this thing where it's like, for some of you, like the people that you meet, your energy is not necessarily in alignment with theirs. So their energy might be higher than yours, or your energy might be higher than theirs, which doesn't necessarily mean better. It just means it's like not necessarily aligning. So to me, this is the thing about alignment. But I also wanted, my guides are also telling me to talk about the Bluebird path, which is a path that I created in my archetypes. I made a collection. So I made a collection of archetypes for those of you who haven't watched me before. And that collection of archetypes is basically about kind of how I noticed that there are certain paths that people were taking. And it didn't have anything to do with astrology, although there was astrological influences. And like what would happen on people's path. And I noticed also that people could switch paths. So like you could be on a really bad path and then switch to something good, or something good could happen immediately. And the Bluebird path is one of my favorite paths. It's when, for some, any kind of spells or curses or evil or negativity is broken. And I'm going to reiterate, there is a broken pot here. For some of you, any negativity that's been kind of holding you back, or kind of like been like a bad, nightmare situation or dark cloud situation, is going to break. The clouds are going to break. And I feel like that's very, very positive for you. For those people that are watching that have felt that there was like, maybe the dark cloud kind of following them around and bad things were happening. I also feel like the Bluebird path is about hope and is about music. And it's kind of like, I think of it like the Judgment card in my tarot deck, where it's like starting off on like a very fresh path where there's a lot of positivity, there's a lot of like forward momentum, where the life focus is no longer about surviving, it's more about thriving, and where it's like just it's very artsy and artistic and musical and creative, and it has a lot of higher vibration energy to it. Usually though, people get to the Bluebird path after they've had kind of a dark cloud following them around, or after something has happened to kind of get them to the next level. So it's sort of like the Bluebird path is like the place that you get to after you've been angry. Maybe you've been hating the world, or there's been a lot of anger. And then you get to love. To me, the Bluebird path is love. It's about love, and it's about hope, and it's about just kind of having a lot of happiness in your heart, and having a like a lighter perspective, or lighter, having more pep in your step. And I feel like for some people that's going to be like really, really awesome, because and good news, because for whatever it is that they've gone through, and it seems like maybe that's not how it's been. I'm going to pull one more stamp and see what else we get. I don't even really know what this stamp is. We're going to use it. We're just going to see what kind of comes out over here. It looks kind of like, to me, it looks kind of like holly. A little bit, or like a wreath, like it's festive. There is something about things happening around Christmas time. And anytime I think of Christmas, I think of how, and last year in particular, I wasn't even sure I was going to make it to Christmas, honestly. I didn't even know how I was going to make it to Christmas. I was just, I couldn't see anything like clearly for myself as far as getting to Christmas. So I want to encourage everybody to like start to look at Christmas as kind of like a, not an ending point, but like an arrival point. Let's just say an arrival point where there's a lot of positive shifting things that are going to happen, and a lot of realizations that you're going to have at that time about what's gone on this year and why it's gone on. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of, like, I want to say breakthroughs at that time for many of you. It's not necessarily breakthroughs so much, my guys are saying, but it's more of like a feeling of like you've arrived at some kind of either place. It could be a home, maybe you're moving December, or just feeling like really, really positive about where you're at with things. Whereas like conversely right now, it feels like there's a lot of directional elements that have been an issue. Maybe for some of you have not felt very helpful, like maybe you feel like you're not going to get to Christmas, but like to me, it feels like Christmas is like this kind of beautiful arrival time. And even just like the way that when I stamped this, I really couldn't figure out another way to stamp it. So we just stuck it there. It looks kind of like an arrow. It's interesting. And it's like forward moving. I feel like things are going to be different than they are now, for many of you, in a positive way. That's what I want to say. By Christmas, I feel like I feel like it's more of just your perspective. It might be like you might be living in the same place, you might have the same job, but to me, there's a perspective change, a shifting in perspective. Okay, so I also pulled this. I'm gonna move this over here. Little fairy. And I don't think I've stamped this before. Maybe I have. And it's so, I don't know. If we look at this fairy, I don't even know what it is that they're holding on to. It looks a little bit like it's cheese. And this fairy has its tongue hanging out. So, for some, it could even be pizza. But I also feel like this is gonna seem kind of strange. Like I first got like it was pulling this rug, and it's like that saying like having the rug pulled out from underneath you. Like I feel like the message here is that spirit is doing stuff that might seem counterintuitive. Like I don't know if it's preventing something or if it's turning things over. What is it doing? There's also this, I'm not getting any answers though. My guides are being challenging. Okay, so like I'm also seeing like, like that whole saying, like sweeping things under the rug, having things swept under the rug. Things being hidden. There's some of you that there's things that you're not supposed to know. And for some of you, there's like things that are hidden that maybe other people have swept under the rug, like maybe things that you don't know, that are being specifically kept from you. But I feel like because we have this fairy here, it's almost kind of like the energy of Cupid, where it's like Cupid, with love, it comes unexpectedly. Like, you meet a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for a relationship. And then they meet someone. And there is something up, the fairies have, or this inner spirit has something up its sleeve regarding things that have been kept hidden from you. I feel like there's going to be something revealed to you. And because of all of this, like colorful, like you can see it's like purpley blue. And he's wearing like blue pants. He's got these little colorful wings. I feel like something good is going to come out of the reveal. Like, I don't necessarily feel like it's somebody, like finding somebody's cheating on you. Or like somebody finding out somebody has a girlfriend or something like that. It feels more like someone, anything that's been hidden from you, you're going to find out. And it's going to be a blessing. It's going to be some kind of blessing. I also feel like for some, you're going to be redecorating or decorating your house in a very colorful way, like really colorful way, or just coloring up your life. The interesting thing, I don't know if those of you who watched Sex and the City, where she talked about coloring, they did like this episode where they talked about coloring, and it was like a metaphor for sex, and how some people color inside the lines and some people color outside the lines. I feel like for some of you, like you could be having some very you could be having some very interesting sexual experiences with partners, where you could be trying different things or getting really excited about certain people that you're dating. That's coming through here, but I feel like it's also more of like coloring your life in a way that it includes sexual experiences, but it's like doing things that you wouldn't maybe normally do in your life, expanding your life, making your life really beautiful, doing things that are beautiful. It goes along with the bluebird path, actually. If you were to like redecorate in a very colorful way and maybe get really into art or really get into music or do things that are uplifting or taking things up to the next level. I feel like you could also be a very colorful person as well. Like, I do read for people that have natural music ability, who have natural art ability, natural talents, painting, drawing. You could be picking up a paintbrush or, drawing in a sketchbook or doing some kind of art that's very colorful. I see art, but I also see music, and I also see like for those of you who aren't artistic, I see like just redecorating, like getting a new carpet, or maybe getting your carpet cleaned, or maybe getting some artwork for your house or your apartment, or maybe going to a gallery opening, or but to me it feels more like redecorating. That's kind of how it feels. Okay, I think I want to end here. This is a really great place to end. Very interesting reading, guys. I was not expecting to do this this way. My stamp readings always come out so interesting, and I love them so much. And it causes less ruffled feathers for the YouTube community when I am doing my stamp readings versus doing the tarot. So that's why I'm doing these lately. If you guys want to book readings, please reach out to me. All the links are going to be below in the description box, or you can visit my website, oracledaphne.com. Thank you so much for watching, being awesome fans and followers. Please give me a like and make a comment. These videos are getting like 17 views, so appreciate all the love. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care.